Welcome, Gérard. Thank you very much for joining me on what is a very busy HPLC 2015 for you, because you're the chair. How's it going so far? And would you like some tea?
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah. So we're on day 1.5. How's it going so far?
Yeah, I think we're pretty happy. The conference has started well yesterday evening with the plenary lectures. We have a good attendance. We have over 1,100 participants from 56 different countries.
Great.
Good representation from academia, students and industry. So we're quite happy. And exhibition also, the 600 square meter exhibition we have, I think fits well, and everybody finds either interest in the lectures, tutorials, and also to have the contact with the vendors.
And it's a strong conference, right? You have always, the chair of HPLC has a big responsibility. So it's been chaired by so many big names, and it's been going for, I think, I was speaking to Barry Carger earlier. He went to the first one in 1973, I think he said it was.
That's correct.
So it has a big history. So does it feel like a big challenge when you set up this kind of thing? There's a few risks, and it's quite, I know you said it was stressful at certain stages.
Yeah, I wouldn't say a risk, but it's a double sword. I mean, you have a success congress, so you're expecting good participation, but on the other hand, you know that the participant will also have expectations.
Right.
I mean, because they know what the standards are.
Absolutely.
The previous conference in Amsterdam, Budapest have been successful.
Right.
So you have the pressure to
Perform.
at least perform as well, or
Yeah,
even
sure.
not better. So, and I think expectations are high, but also what's good for the organization is that the people are very interested in the conference. They want to show their results. It's for them also a forum which is important.
Yeah.
This helps for the organization a lot.
So thinking about how, when you put the conference together, what are some of the sort of strong themes running through the conference, would you say, this year?
Certainly, as separation science are getting more established and mature, we see some extension, especially in the field of the use of mass spectrometry as a detection.
Right.
It's getting more importance that with the separation technique coupled together, it opens. What we also have seen is multidimensional separation.
Right, and that's on the program a couple of times, right? There's a couple of sessions on multidimensional.
And again, this year we also emphasized, and I think this is what I get good feedback from people, is sample preparation.
Right.
And either on a larger scale or on a microfluidic scale, this is something which is getting importance. But the ability to have analytical system which are going for global measurements, I think this is also what's attracting people. In the past, people were interested to analyze maybe one compound in a specific matrix for a specific problem. Now we have more global approaches which also require this new extension of the yeah.
Well, and I think, as many people have said today, Peter Schermacher's lecture on, when we've not reached the end of the HPLC road, right? There's still some work to do, and partly because of the challenges of these far more complex samples, right, in terms of the omics and so on. So when you put the program together, is that in your mind that you want to explore some of the challenges of the field, or you want it to be more of a celebration?
No, I think it's really oriented to the novelty aspect. Certainly we have, celebration is an important aspect, but the driving is what is the novelty, what can we share with other people attending, and give some not direction, but hints what could be possible in the future. And I think that's what Peter tried to do yesterday.
Sure.
Is we know what we do very well, but what do we have to do to get a step further? And this was also addressed by Rudy Ebersold's talk about his complex problem, and he made very nice analogy with the first talk, which was by Peter Jenny, talking about these tremendous experiments involving 1,000 or 10,000 of scientists and and asking the question, why do we have black material? We don't understand part of the universe, and Rudy saying, we don't understand where the missing proteins. So you see this analogy between field, and I think what I liked in this session is we had two scientific topics completely different, but in fact there is a relation.
Right, and I think that's what comes out in a conference like HPLC when you get people from kind of different areas. In fact, I spoke to Rudy not so long ago. I did a sitting down with him, and he's a very focused individual, and he has a different way of approaching problems that other people are having. So in your own work, what are the main focuses for you currently today?
It's really the multidimensional separation. It's have a system biology type of approach for many different issues we have in modern life. As you know, pharmaceutical is important, food is important, quality control of material is important because this affects all our environment. So analytical chemistry plays a very important role, not to provide tools for single analytical determination, but really to get answers and to move on. So we need to have this global view on things.
Right. And another thing that came clear today is, in fact, Barry Carg was saying about, on one side there's the theory, the fundamentals, which is important, but it's also the application. Right? Is that there's been a strong movement towards applied analytical techniques rather than the fundamentals. Would you say that's the case for this conference?
Well, no. Yes and no. We try to keep a fundamental aspect because we need to better understand what's going on. And in fact, what happens in the field is we have a large base of users which do excellent job by day-to-day analysis, by supporting projects. But also when you talk to these people, you realize that they have some issue they don't understand. Some observation because they have done 1,000 times the same measurement and they have observed something which is not exactly what they wanted. And that's where the fundamental comes in.
Right.
Because the fundamental should try to find an explanation. Why is this peak having this form, despite they have been able to measure the sample? So fundamental is linked to application. We will have more application, but it's very, very important that when we see something which is not behaving like we expect, that we try to explain it. And I think at HPLC, that's why we have a fundamental session, we have a hyphenation session, and we have an application session. They should cross-fertilize.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's clear that many of modern analysts have to generate data to support projects, to answer questions. So application is very important.
Absolutely. So looking forward, I think one thing, as you said earlier, that HPLC does, it gives people a glimpse of the future. What are your views? I've asked everyone this question today. HPLC 2025. Where do you think we'll be? Any trends that you see coming strongly through the mix?
Yeah, what I see, or what I would dream for is not chip-based integrated instrument, but benchtop integrated instrument. Is like you have a fire detector in your house. Could we have analytical devices where we can specifically ask questions on a local level? And I think separation science has to go in this direction. And separation science is not, I think what has emerged with the last HPLC conference is, before the focus was really on how do we separate compounds, how do we make better columns, or can we analyze more compounds? But in the past, people were not worrying too much what is sample preparation, and we're not worrying too much what is detection.
Right.
And I think now what really has changed is this integration is, I can do something in front. My separation is important, but also my detection. I need specific universal detection. And LC was done in the past very much with non-universal detectors like UV detection. So you missed a lot of information. And I think now with the integration of mass spectrometry really as a base, it's changing. It's pushing this force on what can I take best of both worlds to move on. And I think that's what's fascinating, because MS has still his problems too.
Right.
So it's it's working, but we have still a lot of questions to answer.
So the same question in a way, but in a slightly different direction. There are obviously quite a lot of young people at HPLC, which is good to see. The young scientists coming through. What would you say to them about where they need to really focus their their efforts? What are the safe bets? What are the fields that will become the kind of the hot areas of the future? Would you say?
So certainly, material science is something which is very important. So go in the fundamentals. I think we had a long history how colon should be made. There was the silica phase. There have been different approaches, but if you consider just material science, what are people able to do in material science, and how could we take advantage of these fields in using them for doing separation? I think if I would have to recommend a young people is trying to get advantage from other fields we not current, but with the thinking or the needs we have, because otherwise you will only improve. We will tune. I don't think we need to tune. We need really to push things in a different dimension.
So more an injection of creativity or innovation, and that maybe will come from someone new to the field, right? Or even from a different direction altogether.
Or what I think is very important is people current in the field are talking to other fields to explore. And because to get somebody new in the field, what it's very difficult is to teach him the basis. This is a general problem in science: is should you take somebody which does not have the experience, or should you get this experience? In my opinion, is there are certain views on things which goes only one way. So
right.
it's essential to talk to these people, but these people will not able to bring you what you know.
Right.
So that's the challenge, is in which ways do you have this flow of knowledge? So as we're not able to do certain things, but other people are able, so it has to go the other way. In our case, I think what young scientists should really do is spread out their expertise.
Right.
And maybe talk to people who do things completely different. And then think, I know my needs, I know what I can do and not do, and search for ideas in completely different...
So broaden the view, really.
Yeah. And I think we really need to push the fundamental knowledge. One danger of application is you get into a routine.
Right.
And you forget, and the routine may be excellent, doing a good job, but if you want to go a step further, you really have to question yourself.
Right.
Which is unknown, it's stressful, it's taking time.
Well, questions are important, right? Those are the ones that's how we move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know you're very busy, Gérard, so I'll just thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure chatting to you. And it was good to follow up from our previous sitting down with interview and actually be here in Geneva to, we spoke about how, it's not always the easiest thing to do, and, you need the real passion to drive the conference forward. So thank you for your time. It's been a real pleasure, and enjoy the rest of the conference. I hope it's all very smooth, and please feel free to finish your cup of tea.
Thank you.